All right. Fellow co-host and farmer is out in the field. Emmanuel is interacting with other farmers. He will be back with us in studio tomorrow. Now, moving on to the agenda of the day. On Wednesdays, we do focus on fish farming in Kenya, and we have taken you all the way from aquaculture, which is a more controlled system of fish farming in Kenya. We also took you all the way to Lake Victoria, which is the most significant source of fish when it comes to inland waters. We also did focus on cage fish farming, and very soon we will be taking you all the way to Lake Turkana for some more fish farming. However, today we want to dive into the space of value addition when it comes to fish farming, and we will be making jackets and necklaces, earrings, and even shoes out of fish waste. Take a look at what we do have in store for you in our feature all the way from Homa Bay County. Take a look. Hello, welcome to today's feature, and we are coming through to you straight from Kisumu. Kisumu, Ben, Kisumu. It's it, Jane, Kisumu. I am so excited because the feature we're about to show you right now is something absolutely interesting. Now, when you think about fish, the number one thing that comes to mind is the meat. But when you think about value addition of the fish, probably you'll think about dawa ya samaki, and that's okay. But with this feature, we want to open your eyes to a lot more opportunities when it comes to value addition in fish, because the man we're about to speak to is using the eyes of the fish, the skin of the fish, the collagen found in the fish, the bones in the fish as well, to make items that are used in the fashion world, and he's selling them locally and also exporting to the international market. Now, we have told you time and time and again that agriculture is the foundation of all other industries, including the fashion industry. So come along with me, let us meet our great farmer of the day. Newton.
Yes.
Koro.
Bear.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
Nimekuwa nikikutafuta kwa muda mrefu. Naona nimekuja sasa kutoka Nairobi.
No, I'm here.
Nipate historia yako, si ndio?
No, I'm here.
How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good.
Great.
Doing
nice
very well.
to see you.
Thank you.
Nimekupata ukiangalia vitu. Pengine hata before I get into the details of how what is made using what is the process, maybe you can just take us through what you have here, from the shoes to the ornaments.
Well, in brief, what we are doing here is just converting the fish skin into leather, but we are using the ordinary plant materials. We are not using chemicals. That's why we call our leather eco leather. The first thing that we do is to collect the waste from the fish processing industries. In Kisumu alone, we normally get waste of fish to the tune of 150,000 metric tons annually. So this has been causing a lot of problems, and therefore we thought of a way of collecting this waste and giving it value. We convert it into leather, and then finally we make leather products, what we call the footwear and leather articles, like the shoes, the bags, and other things. Well, in addition to that, I mentioned that these are from fish waste. We also have the fish bones that we also collect, and give it a little bit some beautiful colorations and others, and then it forms necklaces,
Can you see?
bangles like this. It forms necklaces, bangles.
This is from a fish bone.
This is from a fish bone. And
right.
Remember, fish has got almost 56 different bones. Yeah, we have the fin bones, we have the flesh bones. This bone is near the gills. Yes, and this is the most sold necklace. I think it's because of these beautiful thorns like spikes, but we export a lot of this to a number of countries like Europe, South Africa, both regionally and globally.
When did you get inspired to start this amazing work of adding value into various parts found in the fish?
First of all, I'm a leather chemist by profession. It entails, doing anything that you can value to any skin. Remember, leather itself is a finished product. And before it becomes leather, it is either a skin or a hide. When we talk of a hide, that is the outer cover of a larger animal like cow, camel,
right.
Donkey.
Yes.
But when we talk of a skin, then this is the outer cover of a small animal like goats, Fish included. So fish, we are talking of skin. Now, this skin in Kisumu, it used to be a lot. And the only way to sustainably manage it is actually by giving it value, converting it into fish leather. The research part of this, I started way back 1992. Research entails identification of plants that contains compounds that I can use to convert this. But I was more concerned about the plants that I can get locally here. That is what constitutes my research part of it. Because economy of Kisumu is fish farming. But here you cannot use chemicals. The moment you use chemicals, you're going to interfere with the fish ponds, you're going to interfere with the lake also. So I had to look for a way, but this was part of my research. This began in 1992, and it came all the way up to 2006, up to 2012, when I now commercialized both my compounds and the leather that I'm doing.
So we want to go through the processes.
Yes.
From the very first step, ukienda kuchukua the skin itself.
Yes. Yeah.
Take us through that step.
Okay. Now, this is what we collect from the fish filleting industries. This one has just dried a little bit because it was collected in the morning, and it has lost some moisture, so it has dried. But you can see it still has scales.
Scales.
Yeah.
Do you prefer the skin of particular fish, or you take from any type of fish, species of fish?
I prefer skin of particular fish because that is what our filleting industries are working on. I am in export, and I cannot just go for a fish that is rare. So I must go for something that I will get in bulk, and I will get it all the time. We are talking of Nile perch. Remember, tilapia is normally consumed at the table size. So people consume it whole. In a very few circumstances would you find tilapia being filleted. Most of our factories, they only fillet Nile perch. This is the skin. You can see it still has scales.
And what technology is required to remove the skin in such a way that it does not interfere with the state you need it when you want to make now the ornaments we're making?
The first thing is that we had to partner with the filleting industries so that we train those who are slaughtering their fish. Now, the kind of training entails removing the skin in a careful way such that you do not leave the holes. Once the holes are there, then that skin is wasted. Because at the end of the day, you'll need leather to do a shoe. But how would you be happy to wear a shoe with holes? That hole you'll never block it. So it will remain. And the more you subject it to tanning, it widens. We need a skin without holes. So the first thing is we partnered with the filleting industries so that we train for them those who are doing the flaying. Flaying means removal, separating the skin from the flesh. Then after that, you subject it to what we call the tanning process. Tanning process, there is what we call pre-tanning operations. Pre-tanning operations means removal of these scales. Now, as you remove the scales, now you remain with what we call the corium, or you remain with the inner layer of the skin that has the fibers. And every tanner, every person who does the tanning, that is the part that is of his interest, because that's the only part that has the fibers. And you can only tan a skin with the fibers. Fibers are these small veins, or other grains that are always found in the skin. Right? But in fish, we have three main layers. We have the epidermis, which is the outer layer, and that outer layer consists of the scales. Then we have the mid layer that we call the corium, which will finally form leather. And then we have the inner layer, this inner layer. So when you are eating fresh fish, so as you are removing the flesh, you will see some gummy part. That gummy part comes from this inner layer, right? We call it the collagen. Right. Yes. Now, immediately you do it this way, the name changes into a pelt. Now we call it a pelt. It's no longer skin.
So at this point, it's a pelt.
It's a pelt. We have removed the scales, and probably we have also removed the excess flesh that might have remained in the inner side.
Great.
The pelt, now we subject it to another form of production that we call it betting. Betting simply means removal of that smell. Here we use plant compounds. Basically, we use papain from paipai, the milky part of paipai.
Right, but how much of it do you need?
You only need 1,000 parts per million. That means very little amount of it that will get it, because remember, it is an enzyme. And if you put too much of it here, it's going to digest this skin.
Oh,
so you have to be very careful on the amount that you put here, such that it does not actually damage your leather at the end of the day.
Do you sprinkle?
We dissolve it in a tanning drum.
Okay.
Then it forms a liquor. Once it forms a liquor, now you soak. Most operations are just soaking in those solutions. Now after that, we now get into what we call the tanning. The tanning itself is now, that was pre-tanning. Now the tanning itself is now to make sure that you preserve that pelt permanently such that it becomes leather. But in this case, we are using what is called phenolic acid. This is an extract from banana, from pseudostem of banana. That is what now we use. It preserves this pelt permanently such that it becomes leather. And this is what it is. We use what is called activated charcoal to convert this, because at times the color of this may not be very much pleasant to a number of people. So if you want a black one, we use activated charcoal to give it permanent black dye. Then it forms this. But this again is at a stage that we call crust. Crust means you've already converted it into leather, but you cannot use it. It's still hard. There are a number of parameters that are still missing here, so that it can now make shoes. Now that is why we call it crust. But at this stage, you can still sell. We can still export it at this stage.
At this stage?
Yes, actually, in most cases, we export it at this stage.
So the ones who buy it at this stage will continue with the processing for themselves?
Yes, they have to do what is called finishing.
Right.
Yes. Now, finishing entails glazing. But glazing, in this case, we are using what we call exudes from plants. Around my compound, we have some plants that oozes. We call them fragrances, or we call it gum. Now this gum, we melt it and then we now spray it on this so that it forms some glittering stuff like this. And it also protects this against water, so that when you step on water with it, though fish leather is naturally a very good product because it does not absorb water. Simply because these fibers, what you see here, are called fibers. And these fibers for fish, they are arranged on top of each other so that it blocks water from penetration. Now then this now forms the finished leather. In the entire process, we normally have what we call two phases. We have the wet shop and dry shop. Dry shop entails the processes that involves water. And then the dry shop now comes to the finishing. This is now entails the processes that do not require water at all. So it basically means buffing, removal of excess of these fibers, which again we use to make what we call the fish thread. And this fish thread, we again use it for something else. That's the making of the doormats and making of a number of materials that we use even as lining. Up to here, we have already done the finishing. Now, at the crust level again, we normally have skin with holes like this. You see, like this.
Right.
Now, this skin, we don't also waste it again. We do what is called buffing, so that we remove the excess fibers until we make sure that we have enough to give us threads that we are using. We do what is called spinning, and then we have the threads. Now, what we do with the scales that we removed from the other side, those scales, we make this kind of internal decos. But this sells a lot in countries like Philippines because they love flowers, but our natural flowers, they wither very fast. But now along the lake, we've come up with our beautiful flowers from the fish scales, which is this one. When we are at this stage, you can now make the shoes, you can now make the jackets, you can now make the caps, you can make what we call footwear and leather goods.
Can we have a look at some of the shoes that we have here that are from the fish skin?
Yes. This is part of our boots. What is so unique about these shoes is that, the gum that we have used to assemble it is from that collagen of fish. Now, if you look at this thread, it's not cotton thread. This one is thread from fish fibers. Fish is so much adapted to water environment, and therefore fibers from fish will never decompose because of water. It will never get destroyed because of water.
Right.
The same to collagen. Collagen of fish will always withstand hot environment and cold environment because it's already from the water.
Right.
So that is the advantage of this shoe, and it lasts for a very long period. As I told you, what mainly destroys our shoes is water. If you step on water, then water penetrates, then definitely it will start cracking. But why is it cracking? It's cracking because for these domestic animals like goat and cow, the fibers I was showing you are intertwined like this, which means there is always spaces for penetration of water. And that's what destroys shoes. But fish leather shoes will never get destroyed by water because of the nature of the arrangements of these fibers.
Can you see another design, maybe?
We also have this. These are sport shoes.
Right.
Yes. That again is very good for winter seasons and also summer seasons. It's all weather.
Right.
Yes, it withstands any kind of weather.
Great.
But again, it lasts for a very long time.
Right.
These are not shoes that you'll visit a shoe repair the following day.
The plants that you're using when it comes to the dyes, are they plants I can find anywhere? What are the names? How do they look like?
We have one main plant, we call it Indigofera tinctoria. In layman's language, we can call it blue indigo. This is a plant that we now grow it around here. We are giving seeds to farmers such that, the farmers now harvest the leaves and sell to us. But for the farmers who have grown a little bit bigger, we now link them to market outside in foreign land so that they can now ship their dyes. It produces blue dye. We also have another local plant here, we call it hibiscus. Hibiscus gives us purplish dye. We also grow it around here. Well, we also get dye from avocado peels, green dye. We also get dye from onion peels, the red onion peels. Because, we have kibui around here, and every morning they sweep heaps and heaps of those waste from onions. We collect them and extract pigments again from it.
Right.
We also have dyes from eucalyptus. That one also gives us yellow dye. Therefore, dyes that we use are purely natural. Our dyes last for so long. One of the products that we use from fish is actually the fish ice. The ice will never satisfy you as much as the way you can sell the ice when it is in form of earrings. Right. So as we solidify the ice and then we make earrings out of it, we call it dancing earrings. Yes, at night it glitters because of the pupae part of fish ice.
There is the initiative by the government to at least make sure that we are wearing shoes that are locally made. How possible is that? And for us to achieve that, what do you think needs to be done?
Well, it's really possible, but there are a number of challenges that we must really overcome. One, we do not have learning institutions. These are the drivers of the technology. We do not have enough leather institutions in this country that trains people on leather technology. Again, most of our institutions are concentrating on what we call conventional tanning, which again will never go down well with our environment. We need institutions to adopt non-conventional technology, and we need more students to learn the leather chemistry, leather technology, such that we get more people who can make shoes. Otherwise, if we just say we are going to wear our shoes, who are going to make these shoes? Because it's not just a matter of shoes. How many tanneries do we have that can produce quality leather for us to make quality shoes? Because the market is open. Yes, and you'll only buy something of quality.
How much is this?
This one is only 12,500.
Right.
We do shoes tailor-made according to your price.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. It's not just fixed that it's supposed to cast on stones.
Right. So nikitaka yangu ya 2,500, there's a design for me.
Hata ya 1,000. Only that the quality will vary. The quality is what determines the price.
What are some of the challenges that you've faced in this job?
One is the employees. We do not have those who are qualified. So it means I have to bring up my own stuff. The other challenge is actually cultural and the beliefs. Most of us believe so much that fish can never produce leather. Yes, so when you start now producing leather out of this, they feel like you are either witchcraft or something like that. The market is so huge, which is now the biggest challenge. But my production is very low. I need to train more people. I need more people to come up with more tanneries so that we meet the market demand.
Now, I want to fit this shoe.
Yes.
And see how it's going to look on me.
Yeah, sure.
And as I do that,
yes,
I've taken a good look at your space, and you're not using a lot of heavy machinery.
Yes.
All right. And someone would think there's going to be a lot of heavy technology around here. How are you managing to do it using very simple skills?
I'm a student of a cottage industry. Means to utilize the local resources. You use tailor-made goods, tools to produce a sellable product. And I don't believe so much in the machines. Machines are just there to aid your work, but not really the main focus of your production. Yes, so I only go for a machine when the business demands for that machine. You see now?
Rate my look out of 10. How many points are you giving me?
I think 11.5.
Come on now. All right. So finally,
you can try it. You can try it.
I'll try it. I'm probably living with it. Now, finally, speak to that young person back at home who just believes agriculture ni pale kwa shamba, kuna mchanga na jembe. In
agriculture, we need what's called innovation. I would urge the youths actually to venture so much into the utilization of waste to come up with a sellable product, because this is the area where we don't talk of capital intensive. And again, some of us believe so much in what we call financial capital. Yeah, I started my business with just 200 shillings. Right now, I've managed to bring it to this level. And no, you must just be financially disciplined. Find out how much do you generate in a day. Keep records. And through the records, you will be advised. The records itself will advise you whether to go this direction, improve your, diversify into this, just like that.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Newton, for talking to us.
Karibu sana.
Keep up the good job that you're doing right here in Kisumu.
Thank you.
All right. Now, what a fantastic feature, learning so much when it comes to value addition of fish to make shoes, to make earrings, to make necklaces and jackets as well. As you can see, I'm wearing shoes made of a fish skin. Are they comfortable? Check, check. Are they trendy? Check, check. Are they working with my outfit? Check, check. And the best part of it all is the fact that they are also eco-friendly, meaning we are not harming the environment. At the end of the day, remember, we have to take care of our environment and promote sustainability when it comes to agriculture and value addition. And it's not just the shoes. We also have a jacket that is made out of fish skin, and I want to go and grab it. It's up here on the wall, as you can see. Fish leather jackets. All right. Great. Okay. All right. Let us make my look come complete. Yeah. So ukiniangalia hivi nakaa niko na madoo, you know my outfit looks proper, nakaa superstar flani, and all of this is made out of fish skin. Vijana, you have no excuse not to get yourself into the space of agriculture, especially utilization of waste. Thank you so much for watching.